necessarily those of Love 101 FM.
Hello and welcome to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM, the number one gospel station in Jamaica. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. Special welcome to our listeners on love101.org. And if you are overseas and on the move, U.S. listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you are in the UK, 0330-332-6541, or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also check us out on Love 101 FM Facebook Live and YouTube Live. In the first watch today, the Gospel Entertainer's Mission versus the Award. The Gospel Entertainer's Mission versus the Award. And in the second watch, what are the lessons learned from 2022 as we go into 2023? That is the question. In our social media question, we ask, what lessons will you bring from 2022 into 2023? Share your responses on our Facebook or YouTube, Love 101 FM Jamaica Live, and also WhatsApp comments and voice notes too. 876-997-3125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your comments later on in the program, but first, here's I quote.
Good morning, good morning. This morning's I quote is an integrity quote, and it says, "We must adjust to changing times and still hold to unchanging principles." And this quote is by Jimmy Carter.
Yes, former president of the United States of America. Very interesting I quote there.
Yes, it is.
Good morning, Chukal.
Good morning, Sir Stokeley. How are you?
Me there.
All right. I mean,
what lessons you learned from 2022 that you're going to apply in 2023?
Learn to say no more often and be assertive with that no. Yeah, man.
Mighty God of Daniel. You know what?
Good, man. No is my favorite word for this year. No, can't do it.
I see. The main watch will be back after this break.
All right. For all your carpet needs, come to the Carpet Store Limited. We do carpet cleaning, installation, custom rugs, and much more. We are the largest distributors of carpets in Jamaica. We also stock a wide variety of area rugs in different styles and sizes, such as wool, jute, and sisal, among others. Follow us on Instagram at thecarpet_store or visit us at 18 Dumbarton Avenue, Kingston 10. You can call us at 876-649-0174. The Carpet Store Limited, because you deserve the best.
For 50 years, Under the Law has been helping you to know your rights and how the laws of Jamaica can help you defend those rights. The program is brought to you on Tuesdays by the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries. Grow smart, eat smart. Under the Law at 6:20 a.m., 2:35, 6:45, and 9:10 p.m. on Love 101 FM.
Lord Keisha, you hear about the little girl who get shot in the community last week?
What do you mean?
I mean, you say things are going to get even crazy, I know, because them boy they smuggling some new gun the other day.
If me could have said something without bad man hear about my name, I would have talked with me know a long time, you know. Because for them foolishness always come back for hurt the innocent people in the community.
But you know, say, them have one program where you can actually give information to the police secretly, you know. Customs join up with Crime Stop and start one campaign named Tell Us. So people can give tips and nobody nothing will say them. Them all give out money if the reward lead to an arrest or them can find the gun them.
Boy, honestly, me kind of afraid, you know. But things can't continue, so me ready to tell them when me know.
You're right. We have to put a stop to it.
The Jamaica Customs Agency wants you to tell us what you know. Call Crime Stop at 311 to share information about illegal guns and other contraband coming through our borders. The Jamaica Customs Agency, country above self.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. Well, we are now in the first watch. And before we start, please listen to a clip of an interview with world-renowned gospel minister Donnie McClurkin, posted on Facebook in November of 2022. Will we be hearing that clip now? Perhaps Jakal? Well, whilst we wait on that clip, it's in relation to a bit of a rant, a good rant by that well-known gospel singer in relation to the motive, it would appear, as to why some gospel entertainers seem to do what they do on stage and for a living as gospel entertainers. In addition, it has been indicated that Nigerian gospel singer Nathaniel Bassey had rejected a Grammy nomination. And some are asking, well, what is the reasoning behind gospel awards generally, and is the focus right? Is it about ministering to people, or is it about entertaining? Some even say that there's a level of secularism creeping into the industry. And the question is, how would Jesus Christ look at some of these awards we're having today? Well, we have as our guest Dr. Delroy D. Lingo, otherwise called D. Lingo, Dr. Delroy Lingo, otherwise called D. Lingo. He is the Chief Executive Officer and owner of Gospel Vibes FM radio network in Connecticut, in the United States of America. He's also the host and producer of the Caribbean Gospel Legends Music Awards. In addition, we have none other than Dr. Nadine Blair, founder and president of the Jamaica Gospel Music Network and head of Allowed to Shine Ministries. And many of you know, yes, Perpetual Praise. He's also an author and programs manager, Love 101 FM. Good morning, Dr. Blair. Good morning, Dr. Lingo. How are you both?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm doing pretty good, thanks.
Great having you both. Now, Dr. Blair, starting with you, is there something that is a little bit off sometimes with the gospel music industry in relation to sort of gearing up to winning an award? Is it that we know that in heaven there'll be prizes there, yes, crowns, etc. But here on earth, sometimes the industry appears to be a little bit not so spiritual, not so holy. Any comments, Dr. Blair?
Well, good morning again, Stokeley. Hi, Dilingo. Nice seeing you.
Good morning, likewise.
I was thinking about this when I was asked. I told Kathy actually that I'm a little nervous. But in answer to your question, and I really hope we get to hear that clip by Donnie, I believe the genesis of awards, where awards began, the heart and the purpose of why someone thought, I will give some awards to persons for their hard work, has moved generally speaking, because I really don't believe that everyone, whether the giver or the receiver, is at that space where it's all about me and let me get this award. But I believe that some have moved away and made it all about the award and not so much why they're getting the award, which is for the hard work, the focus, the purposeful, dedicated mission to for us in gospel to give the word, to write a song that says what the word says, and not just flippantly writing words that just rhyme. The heart of where the award system began, that has changed in the minds of some, but thankfully not in the minds of all.
Very interesting, Dr. Blair. Dr. Lingo, any thoughts on what, well, I know you're going to comment to some extent, I assume, on what Dr. Blair said,
Yes.
but is there a fundamental problem in that you have persons who go into the industry, and let's face facts, some of them may have been coming from very depressed, trying circumstances in terms of their place of origin, the circumstances under which they were born, no fault of theirs. They come into the industry. Yes, God has blessed them. They can sing, they can perform, they're doing well, but there's a little side of them that they're seeing an opportunity to make some more money, to get some fame, to get some popularity, to come out of poverty. And nothing is wrong with coming out of poverty, but maybe the focus becomes a little bit off. Dr. Lingo?
Yes. Good morning, Friederland. It's a blessing to be here. I unlike Auntie Nadine and most folks that knows me know that I'm to the point, and I see things as they really are. And gospel awards from both sides of the fence, for the most part, has become a hustle. Nothing more than a hustle. And I'll tell you why. For the most part, the persons that are doing the award, they're doing it to make money. It's not that they see a situation that they
Dr. Lingo, when
really,
you say the persons doing the awards, you mean the persons who are putting on the award
the persons
shows?
that are putting on the award shows. If you notice, it's become a trend now. A lot of people are involved in it. And if you look on some of the persons that they are giving award, there's no credibility. If you look on the very awards that they give, because it is a huge price ticket to get somebody into the award show. And also the persons that are awarded are expected that when they come, they also perform. So it's not from a genuine perspective. I'm not just saying because I am involved in it. Mine is totally different. We have never charged for anybody that come into my award show. It's basically a VIP. It's for the awardee and for individuals, their family, and we give award to people that we think deserve it. We don't award a particular song. We work with individuals. We are basically working with those that started the work, those that labored in the industry. And so when it is a situation where artists are recording a song to get an award, they have missed the entire mark. Look on all the songs that gain awards. Those songs have anything to really do with Christianity or have a message. It is the most popular song. It is the song that least address Jesus and the things of God. So
Dr. Lingo, the point I was making about persons seeking to use the gospel music industry as a way to transition out of poverty. Again, nothing wrong with coming out of poverty. That's why people pursue various professions in life. But any comments on that particular point?
Okay. Well, there's nothing wrong in a sense of if this is what I am going to have to use to elevate myself. My thing is that let us know what it is that you're about, because the ministry also needs entertainment. But don't pretend to be a minister when actually you're into entertainment, because the fraternity needs both. So we have to be careful about the balance. So because yes, it can take me from point A to point B, but at the same time, make sure that in the midst of all that you do, because the main purpose really supposed to be God is supposed to get the glory.
God is supposed to get the glory. Dr. Lingo, hold that point one moment because we are now already upon a break. Listeners, please stay with us. We will be right back on the Morning Watch.
The deal of the season. At the season for give and the season for share. Juicy, I give we the deal of the year. Any four for your Christmas treat. 4 party 2 Coke, 1 great price. You see, Juicy's any 4 deal is a real Christmas treat. Get any 4 party with 2 22-ounce Coca-Cola for just $1,150. Pick your favorite patty. Beef, chicken, veg, shrimp, or soy to the world. At the season for give and the season for share. Juicy, I give we the deal of the year. A Juicy and Coca-Cola promotion. For a limited time only, conditions apply.
Hey, my peeps, get this on the regular. Your HIV status if you consider the least of a test once a year. Just 15 minutes and your status clear. Cause it might not show up on your timeline and you learn too late, so you're out of time. A progressive future, one little, really long life, our story. You hear?
Remember, update your status in a real life. Do an HIV test today.
Just 15 minutes and your status clear. Really long life, our story. Really long life for youth, coming from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
February 12, 2023, it's a Sagicor Sigma 25th Legacy Run. 25 years of running for a cause. Let's make this the biggest and the best as we raise funds for the pediatric unit of the University Hospital of the West Indies and Edna Manley College of the Visual and Performing Arts. Registration is now open. Sagicor Sigma 25th Legacy Run, February 12. Run for the fun. Donate for the cause. Register now.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We are in the first watch, and we're having a very interesting discussion with Dr. Delroy Lingo and Dr. Nadine Blair. And the topic is Gospel Entertainers Mission versus the Award. And before we continue the conversation, we are now going to listen to the clip in relation to well-renowned gospel minister Donnie McClurkin. I'm not sure if we're hearing the clip very well. Well, whilst we try to resolve that technical issue, we will continue the conversation. In a nutshell, you're saying we need to know what you're about, Dr. Lingo?
Yes, we need to know exactly what we're about. And while it is that we can use something to get us out of a situation, at the same time, because of what gospel is supposed to be, God is supposed to get the glory. And if we trust him enough with our life, I am a believer, I go by this mantra, where he leads, he feeds, where he abides, he provides. If it's his will, it's his will. So if we trust God in those areas, whatever situation we are, and we are singing gospel, and even though it's a means to get out of a situation, but God at the end of the day must get glory out of what we do.
Very interesting. And you said something about we need both. We need the entertainment as well as the ministry, the worship. Dr. Blair, any comments on that? Because I hear a lot of discussions sometimes. Which one should it be, Dr. Blair?
I'm so sorry. Which one should what be?
Should we focus on the ministering in terms of the music, or should it be entertainment? And of course, which of them should get the award?
Well, it has to be ministry. If you're a minister, your first duty is to minister, because that's who you are.
Yes.
The addition over the years of thrills and lights and whatever. I think, again, I don't like to whitewash things and just say everybody. I wanted to quickly comment on what Delingo was saying, that, you know, he doesn't charge for, I'm coming back to the point, he doesn't charge for awards. And I'm making the example because I don't like to whitewash and say this is what everybody is doing. Everybody is not doing it, and we don't know the heart of everybody. I do know that there are awards that are being held, that the heart of the person holding the award is genuine. They really want to highlight the people. And then I also know that there are artists who are genuine. There was an artist who came here in answer to your question about the thrills and whatever. And I mean, we were on the stage in amazement because to us it was just like a whole performance. It that we were not feeling, or it was just, we were just like, why are you here? We could have just had Ashe come and perform for us or something. But they went beyond that, and there was no spiritual thing. They were all in the how to move the hand and everything. So yes, there are people who have gotten lost in the performance, the holy lights and the cameras here. And so I saw a clip with somebody, a pastor was flying into his church, you know, from the banners. And I mean, people have added thrills and something, you know, to make their message more effective and make it more catchy. But please, why are you doing it? What do you want to add? What are you trying to say? I'm not saying don't have lights, and I'm not saying don't fly in from the church, but what is your message? Are you trying to do it to give an example of something? I'm not against persons, you know, coming out in their uniform. And sometimes when we're on stage, we're all dressed up. I remember going to England one time, and when we were going to church, everybody in a t-shirt and jeans and so forth, big Sunday morning. A part of it is cultural. So some persons, you notice when like some of the artists come to Jamaica to perform, they're just in a little casual thing at time. We dress up and everything because in our culture, when we're going out, we're going out. So my thing is, what is the heart? What is the heart of what you're doing it? Is it necessary to add to your message or to reach somebody or catch the attention of someone? Maybe some people even say that they do it because of sponsors. They want to show sponsors that they can have big stage and all of that. We've done it too, and we wanted to celebrate our 20th anniversary. We had the big stage and the lights and everything to make it beautiful as a celebration. When I did our 20th anniversary celebration, my heart was ministry, but I wanted to add something to make it just look fabulous for God and for the people who are in the audience with us. So my question is, what's the heart? What's behind what you're doing? Does it mean, therefore, that we should just go and sit down in an awards and just not have no light, and you just turn on the light and say, this evening we're going to honor so and so, and we don't have any, you know?
Yes,
There
yes.
is a place for it. There is a place for it, but it comes down to the heart.
And
Mr. Marshall,
you raise a very interesting. 1 second, I was going to come to you now, Dr. Lingo, but you raise a very, very critical point, Dr. Blair, because my question now is, how can you maintain this correct spirit, have the correct spirit behind an award show, a gospel award show, whilst at the same time having the necessary quality that you want to have along with that to make it a good production? I don't know if that's what you're going to comment on, Dr. Lingo. That's what I was going to raise with you now.
Yes, but if I could just address 2 points that was made earlier. And when I talk about award show and the hustle, I'm speaking specifically from I'm in the States, and I see it on a day-to-day basis, and it's a lot. And I'm speaking of what I'm seeing, and I'm not saying everybody does the same, but from where I am and what I'm seeing, that's what I'm specifically speaking from. Yes. When I also mention about entertainment and ministry, what I'm actually saying is that there's no producer, almost none, that when they're putting on a show, all the artists that they book they're coming to minister. The first thing is the bottom line. They want to make sure they fill the venue. So they're booking artists that is going to pull crowd, artists that is going to come and hype. And if they're smart, they'll balance it with artists that also come and minister. So that's it. That's what I was trying to say, that there's a space for both.
I see. Very interesting. And I have seen in Jamaica as well, Dr. Lingo, where some persons in the industry appear to be doing it as a hustle. I've seen it here in Jamaica too. I'm not seeing everybody. As Dr. Blair indicated, you can't know people's hearts. But I've seen signs where it appears to be a hustle to some extent. Dr. Blair, how can one maintain the quality production while at the same time making sure that ministry is the real focus? Dr. Blair?
So we're speaking now from the producer's point of view?
Well, most definitely, because that would be the genesis of it, yes.
Well, we can't see in everybody's heart. We can't know everybody's heart. But if we were to speak from this platform to persons who call on the name of Christ, and you say that you are a Christian and you are hosting a gospel event, just to encourage you to do the right thing. And because, I did a post the other day on Instagram where I said that there's a scripture, let me see if I can find it, that talks about, can the world look at us and say that we have walked in integrity and sincerity?
Yes.
That is so very important, because if what we are doing, it boils down to our testimony. If what we are doing is not selling Christ, selling their meaning, showcasing, living for Christ, and telling people that, we are making a difference, our message is in vain.
We're wasting time. Yes.
We're wasting time.
Yes, and in fact, I'm seeing a question here, which I looked at it and I said I wondered about asking it, but I'm asking it. The question is,
when you're ready. Yeah,
no problem. The question is, should you have these kinds of awards in the first place?
Well, again, I wish we had played Donnie's clip. I really believe, I wrote something in preparation for this, and it kind of spin off from what I was saying earlier. And let me be quick as at the time. I believe that where it started from is good intentions and a rewarding of hard work. Yes. I think there is a place for that, a place for recognizing the Tom, Dick, and Harry. Tom did a song about, all of them do a song about Jesus, but Tom went further in and was more careful in carving the words to ensure that it's not just about the rhyme, but the message is, is solid. There is a place for recognizing persons who push a little harder. That's correct. We're not saying that everybody will be recognized, because it does happen. It does happen that an award will happen and Tom, Dick, and Harry are nominated, but John, Mary, and Sue were forgotten and they did hard. But it doesn't mean that there's not a place for awards. I believe there is a place for awards, but as the scripture says, 2 Corinthians 1:12, we have, can people say that we have conducted ourselves in the world, and especially in our relationships, with integrity and godly sincerity? At the heart of those hosting the awards must be integrity and sincerity. And yes, I believe there's a place for it.
And clearly you do as well, Dr. Lingo, because you host these awards.
Yes, and if I could just address something that Dr. Blair just spoke about, and that is one of the problems that I have with most of these awards. She emphasized on Tom, Dick, and Harry, and Harry went the extra mile to make sure that there's clarity or there's ministry in what he does. But hear this, most time Harry is the one that never wins, because 3 persons have the award and they put up the vote. Harry don't have that kind of clout. People that go and vote for Harry, how many spiritual connection person you are? People go and vote for the one that have the IP song, and that's the problem that I have with the award. The person that earns it never gets it. And that's the difference with That's the difference with what I do. Nobody vote for anybody that we give an award to. We see the work you do, and we contact you. We said we appreciate what you do. We want to.
So it's an honor award.
Yes.
And it's probably taking us back to a point similar to what I think Donnie McClurkin was making. I did listen to the clip before the show, and he is really pointing to motive, and he was even pointing to the lifestyle of persons who seem to be in the industry, which is probably a different conversation. But I want to thank you, Dr. Blair and Dr. Lingo, for being with us in this first watch. We do appreciate your time and your thoughts, but of course, never enough time on the morning watch.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much
Thanks for having me.
Listeners, please stay with us. We'll be right back on the morning watch.
Talk to JN Bank today to find out about achieving your own sweet home in 30 days. The time by JN Bank Mortgage is
7:30.
Get busy with a biz start, biz grow, biz boost. With a JN Bank biz loan, you can't lose when you want to grow more on your business too.
JN Bank Small Business Loans.
Some loan for you.
Helping you succeed is our business. Tell us your business and let's help you start it, grow it, or boost it. Borrow as low as $10,000 and up to 100 million Jamaican dollars. Enjoy flexible payment terms and affordable rates. Apply now. WhatsApp 876-295-1298. JN Bank. We'll help you find a way.
The management and the staff of the Jamaica Customs Agency extend a sincere thanks and appreciation to you, our valued stakeholders, for your support throughout 2022. We wish for you and your family a blessed, peaceful, and enjoyable Christmas and a prosperous new year, driven by your mandates, guided by your core values, and girded by your motto, country above self. We look forward to serving you even better in the year ahead. Happy holidays from Jamaica Customs.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. Let's take a look now at the newspapers to see what Jamaicans and others are saying and doing. And the first news source we turn to is the Gleaner. Sad news here. The government of Jamaica, led by Prime Minister Andrew Holness, is expressing sadness at the death of Ambassador Richard Bernal, noting that Jamaica has lost a pillar of the academic and diplomatic community. We turn now to the Jamaica Observer. Well, we have here on the food, 2023 food resolutions. New food resolutions to jumpstart a year of wellness. We turn to Loop Jamaica News. Ambassador Richard Bernal dies suddenly. Holness expresses sadness at the development. Those and many other stories in the various news sources that there are, of course, coming up next. We will be reading for you some of the feedback from our Facebook and WhatsApp question, which is, what lessons will you bring from 2022 into 2023? In this, the year of our Lord. If you haven't done so yet, leave a comment on our Facebook or YouTube. Love 101 FM Jamaica Live, and also WhatsApp comments and voice notes to 876-997-3125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll be right back.
It's the new year, and July was great in 2022. Wouldn't you agree? Over 250 episodes packed with some great interviews, laughter, spiritual encounters, excitement, and good information. Tune into Alive from Tuesday, January 3 to Friday, January 7 for the Alive Review. Join me, your host, Sarah Ann, the Chirpy One, with your thoughts for an interesting week as we recap the year that was. The highs, whether they be informative or fun or eye-opening moments from our daily features. What was your favorite? Don't forget to WhatsApp us at the appropriate times throughout the show. Hear the announcers speak, producers speak, and lots more inside Alive from Tuesday, January 3 to Friday, January 7 on the family station, Love 101. Happy New Year! And for this year, remember, don't worry, be chirpy.
Hey everybody, I'm Ashley.
I'm Jakal. I'm Victor.
I'm Chantel.
And we are
The Pulse Podcast.
You can find us every Saturday at 7 p.m. on Love 101 FM JA's YouTube channel.
Yes, 7 to 8 p.m. And ensure you follow us on social media, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at The Pulse Podcast JA.
The Pulse Podcast, your weekly source of authentic, Jamaican, faith-based, creative content and edutainment.
About culture, creative expressions, and games. This is the Pulse Podcast.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. Well, let's take a look now at how our friends on Facebook and WhatsApp answer today's question. What lessons will you bring from 2022 into 2023? Jukal, any responses?
Yes, we have two responses here this morning. Marcia said, good morning, Morning Watch. The lesson I will bring is that I'm going to continue on my prayer group and be more strong in the Lord Jesus. And then Phyllis from St. Thomas sent a voice note. So we're going to listen to what she said.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. My resolution, my thing for this year is no. I'm overworked 2022 and I'll be saying no.
All right, so Marcia and I will be saying no. For
She was listening to you.
Yes, she was listening to me. We're going to be saying no.
She was listening to you.
She was.
She was listening to you, Jukal.
I feel so. Oh boy.
You're having an impact on the listenership, Jukal.
I assume.
Interesting. He's gonna say no. Well, we move right into the second watch, and many would say that 2022 was quite a year indeed. And what lessons did we learn then that will help us, or that will guide us as we continue through 2023, which has already begun. And of course, how can these lessons help us beyond this year? Lessons concerning ourselves and lessons concerning our families. We have online this morning Michael Aiken, Director of Gideon Educational Center, the Gideon Educational Center, and also Associate Pastor. He's a Minister of Religion, Associate Pastor of the Fellowship Tabernacle in St. Andrew. We also have Alun Ndombe, my deep apologies, Ambassador. Alun Ndombe Asamba, attorney at law and mediator, former High Commissioner of Jamaica to the United Kingdom. Good morning, Ambassador. Good morning, Michael Aiken. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you all. And my name is pronounced Dombe Asamba.
I beg your pardon, Ambassador.
No, it's okay. It's something that I have to do all the time because I know it's not your usual run-of-the-mill name.
It's the first. I think it's the first I've made an error pronouncing your name. My deep apologies. Deep apologies. Now, Ambassador and Michael Aiken.
Yes, my brother.
2022 was an interesting year. By the way, I know that you're both, well, I'm not so sure anymore about Mr. Aiken or even you, Ambassador. I know that you're both politicians in different spheres, but we're not here today as politicians, obviously. We're looking at last year and we're looking at what we learned, what we can use to go forward. Personal lessons, family lessons, children, older persons, even maybe our own personal finances, our outlook on life. So much that we could unpack today, starting with you, Ambassador. What would you say are some personal and even family lessons that you think people can they can say, well, this is what I learned last year. What can I apply this year?
It was funny to hear one of the persons who responded on your social media that said that he was going to say no. And it is something that I have had to be learning myself, how to say no. Because people believe that you've had all these experiences, you've done all these things, then you can do everything. Or they believe that they can ask you at the absolute last minute to do something, and you must drop everything else that you are doing and be prepared to do what they have asked.
And if you don't do it, you're wicked, right? That's what they said.
Yeah, you're bad mind and you're wicked and you're whatever. But some of us run ourselves ragged. And I know that in the last year, a lot of us have found ourselves in a situation where we have run ourselves ragged. We respond to everybody. You're always available to everybody. And you never ever stop and take stock of what is happening with yourself. And if you are not doing that, then you will be of no use to your family.
Yes.
It's where I think you have to start.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, when everybody else falls away from you, all you have is your family.
Yes.
And I think that is one lesson I have learned.
Interesting. Michael Aiken?
Yes, my brother. Morning again.
Good morning,
sir. The most impacting lesson happened. Well, I have a personal lesson, but there's a international, national, personal lesson that I think all of us need to pay attention to because it was so divinely provided for us. And the lesson is this. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Keep fighting the good fight, keep the faith. You know, my senior pastor and I, Al Miller, we had a laugh over this because both of us are Brazil fans, like all of us actually.
Yes.
So we were laughing when Argentina got spanked by Saudi Arabia. But who ended up winning?
Indeed, Argentina.
It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Yes.
And 2,000 years ago, a lawyer of high repute wrote the statement, I have fought the good fight, I've finished the course, I've kept the faith. So my lesson and my encouragement to all of us is keep fighting the good fight.
Our advocate in heaven.
Faith, finish it. Run to the end. If you feel like giving up this morning, this is not the morning to give up.
Interesting. Thank you for that, both of you. And in terms of children, older persons, any comments from you, Ambassador, followed by Michael Aiken, Ambassador?
I want to this is something that I have been thinking about. What has happened to our children over the last 2 years? Not being able to be out at school, not being able to socialize, not being able to be taught in the way that we normally have lessons. Being in the case of some children, being in situations that are not supportive of them, because not every child is growing up in what we would see as the perfect situation.
Yes.
Some children are in situations that as adults we would never want to be. And I'm really worried that's happened to our children over the last 2 years. And we saw last year that when they went back out to school together, we saw some very negative behaviors. And I think we are not recognizing the trauma that some children went through in the lockdown period in the period when they were not able to go out, because let me tell you, you learn at school, not just the lessons out of the book, but you learn attitude, you learn how to live with other people, you learn the give and take of 30 people being in the
Very
same
true,
room,
very true.
or sometimes more than 30 people being in the same room.
I'm going to ask you to hold that thought 1 second, Ambassador, as well as Pastor Aiken, because we are now upon a break. Listeners, please stay with us. We'll be right back on the Morning Watch.
From generation to generation, Jamaicans have depended on J&B Bank to make the pride and joy of providing a safe place for their families possible. Now, with no processing fees and no down payment mortgage options, you can open the door to your own sweet home, a legacy to hand to your next generation. Visit jnbank.com to get pre-approved today. J&B Bank will help you find a way.
You work hard to make Jamaica a first-class destination. Isn't it time you receive the 5-star benefits? Retire smarter with the Tourism Workers Pension Scheme, a portable plan that also provides your family with financial security in case of your untimely death. It's easy, affordable, and accessible online. Retire and relax with the Tourism Workers Pension Scheme. Visit twps.myguardiangroup.com or call 876-927-4105. Guardian Life. Live secure. Live easy.
I'm deeply concerned by the number of Jamaicans killed on our roads. Safety on our roads is our responsibility. Jamaicans, drivers, passengers, motorcyclists, and pedestrians, slow down. Observe the rules of the road. Be courteous. Drive defensively. Be considerate. Buckle up. Wear a helmet. The careless overtaker is only rushing to the undertaker. Not observing the rules of the road could cost you your life and that of your loved ones. I encourage all road users to take special care as we use public thoroughfares. The life you save may be your own. Remember, your family wants you to arrive alive.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We are in the second watch. The topic is, what are the lessons learned from 2022 as we go into 2023? Our guests are Michael Aiken, Director of Gideon Education Center, Associate Pastor Fellowship, Tabernacle in Kingston, St. Andrew. And of course, we have Ambassador Alun Ndombia Samba, Attorney at Law and Mediator and former High Commissioner of Jamaica to the United Kingdom. Ambassador, just before the break, you were commenting on lessons learned last year in terms of children and what they went through, and you were even mentioning the other role of school, not just learning lessons, but learning those social skills. Continue, Ambassador.
Yes, the truth is, our children have been scarred by the last 2 years, and unless we put some programs in place that is going to help them to cope, I think we are going to find ourselves a few years down the road in serious challenges.
Yes.
That is a concern that I have.
What about older persons, Ambassador? Older persons?
Oh, well, I mean, I take that as a given. We are already seeing in the society the challenges where people are not able to deal with their differences, without resorting to violence. I feel that as a country, we have to face, and you spoke about the fact that I'm a mediator. This skill of mediation, or getting persons to recognize that you sometimes find yourself in situations where you yourself need to have somebody help you to work out the challenges that you face. I think that is important for us to recognize that, because we see, look how many stories we have of partners killing the other partner and killing themselves, or killing children, or they have their challenges. Lots of communities we see that happening, and there's a rage that is in the society, and if we don't accept that there is this rage, if we don't recognize that there is this rage and that there is some serious work which needs to be done, we're going to be constantly getting up. And as I do, what am I going to hear terrible that has happened this morning?
And something else that I don't want to omit, personal finances. And it can be a challenge across the board for those who are retired, for those who are working, and even those younger, Ambassador.
Yes, personal finances for so many people took a real beating in the last 2 years. Some people didn't have jobs. Some companies had no choice but to close down or to make their business smaller. And people have just not been able to work and to get paid in the kind of way that they need to. So, first, family finances are under great stress and strain. And I don't know about anybody else, but when I feel a little anxiety over whether I will have enough money to do the things that I have to do, I get very depressed. And I know that is a problem that we are having, that we are facing in the society. And yes, and on the other hand, we see some people who are splurging. We see some people who are just spending money as if there is no tomorrow. And people who work very hard are finding the question to say, look how hard I work and I can't make ends meet. And yet on the other side of the coin, I see a lot of people who just have all this money to squander.
Yes.
One of the things that causes the tension and the anxiety in the society. And I want to really say that looking for the new year, we should really be trying to be positive and really be talking about things that are positive going forward.
Actually, that's coming up next. That's coming up next. But go ahead, Ambassador.
Yeah, it's very hard not to recognize what the challenges are. But some of the coping mechanisms I have used for myself is prayer. Just looking out of myself, and just praying to a higher being, just recognizing the role of God. And sometimes that I have to just sit back and say, God, I know it is you. I know it is you who did that for me. The other thing is just to stop and listen, and don't feel that I have to be talking all the time. Just stop and listen. Hear what people are saying. And sometimes I find that it helps me to be more able to cope with what is happening.
Well, Pastor Aiken, how can persons in fact turn what was or is negative into a positive outcome? And what do you recommend that we not do going forward in this year of 2023, this year of our Lord, and beyond? Because you may want to comment as well on the other issues, concerning children, older persons, finances, etc. But importantly, how can persons turn firstly negatives into positives? And what do you recommend that we not do going forward? And what do you recommend that we in fact should do, Pastor?
Let me attempt to answer that question by picking up on the issues that our children face that Ambassador just spoke so well about. Schools have always, educators have always understood that there that we have family issues, grievous family issues. Because usually when we send children home with homework, some come back with homework not done. When we send them home for the Christmas break or the summer break, we find that so much seems to be undone when they get back. And that speaks both academically and with social skills development. But we were always able to somehow fix the inequities between school life and home life. You know, a child that would have gone off for summer months and come back forgetting his ABCs, we were able to get him back or get her back on track before the next year was over. But here's what has happened. Some were off for 3 years. And it's speaking now purely with my educational school director hat on. I can tell you at Gideon Educational Center, we are extremely worried about some children who have come back with their social skills, their academic skills, so lost that we're not so sure we can put it back together. Now, that points to the fact that Ambassador would have known for years, all your listeners would have known, we have some serious home issues in Jamaica.
Yes.
We have allowed the development of a family model that does not augur well for prosperity and progress. We have allowed that for 6 years.
What do you think can be done, Pastor, to sort of right some of these wrongs? Because we have a sense as to what the issues are already, but oftentimes we don't seem able to either identify what can be done to correct it, or if we have even identified what can be done to correct it, the implementation is slow.
You know, I disagree with you there. I mean, you referred to Ambassador and myself as politicians. Ambassador, by that he meant that we're for the people.
I hope that's what he meant.
But here's what I learned in...
Just referring to your previous hats, the previous hats that you were both wearing, or still, were wearing. Yes, go ahead.
Well, putting on those hats for a moment, I don't agree with you by saying we don't know what to do. We do know what to do. But we
I said or. I did say or. Or we may know what to do, but the implementation might be slow.
We just don't have the testicular fortitude to do it. Here's an international example. In 1978 or 79, Ambassador, you can correct me here. I'm trying to remember, Prime Minister Xi Jinping of China, he and his government made a policy decision. They simply announced, if you think you're bad, have more than 2 children.
The one child policy.
Yeah.
They changed it from 1 child to 2 child, though, because after a while they realized they weren't having enough children.
But forget that part. The policy
well, it's important. They had to change the policy.
Somebody realized that their population was outstripping their production. Now, that sounded at that time like a harsh policy. They probably were condemned by the international community. But
I disagree with them. But go ahead.
A few years later, they are now the world's largest economy. And I do believe that one of the reasons for that is because they have the testicular fortitude to make.
It's also not a country with a lot of freedoms, though, Mr. Aiken. So there's another side to that.
For a moment, but you see, that's the thing. That's why I'm arguing the point that it's not that we don't know what to do or how to implement, but as Jamaicans, we keep telling ourselves, well, we can't do this because this don't fit that, and you can't do that in Jamaica, and this can't. No, we're faced with national emergencies.
You can be disciplined and have freedoms, Mr. Aiken. You can be disciplined and have freedoms.
Well, I don't want to get too political right now.
Well, I'm not going down that road there this morning, you know. I'm not going down
I think what you're both agreeing, though, is that there is hope. I think you're both agreeing, though, that there is, in fact, hope. That's what you're both pointing out. It can
But
be
I
done.
believe that we have to have the hope. Because we can't just sit down until there's
And
nothing.
as the pastor just said, they need the testicular fortitude. And I think we can end there today because we are totally out of time. I want to thank you, Ambassador and Pastor Aiken, for being with us today, because we want to thank you for your time and for your thoughts. Never enough time on the morning
Thanks
watch.
for
Thank you
having us.
so much. And of course, thank you. Well, most definitely. Thanks to the both of you. Thank you, listeners, for being with us. Visit the Love One on FM YouTube channel and Facebook page for this and all other Love One on FM programs. And of course, download our Love 101 app. And remember that we are the number 4 station in the island and the number 1 gospel station in Jamaica. This has been the Morning Watch. Have a blessed weekend. Join Reverend Dr. Dallin Toussaint next week when he'll continue to set the stage for the discussion of topical and controversial issues. Thanks to our producer, Kathy Gale, and to our guests. I am Stokeley Marsh, and hand you back to them in the morning with Jokal.
Let us live, love, and respect the lives of others. A safer and more peaceful Jamaica is well with